A group of grown-up Chinese dressed up as kings, chickens and pigs are jumping around and laughing. It may sound silly, but they are not doing this only for fun. The role play is a part of an education program for Chinese daycare leaders and teachers at Nordfyns Folk High School in Denmark. They are here to practice playing, inspired by the fairy tale universe of Hans Christian Andersen. Since the autumn of 2017, groups of pedagogues from all over China have taken part in Danish workshops ranging in length from 1 to several weeks. The third group is there from May 13 to 26. Chinese course participants dressed up as fairy tales characters. H.C. Andersen International Kindergarten College Universal Fairy Tale Universe Free Play, or play in general, is not a matter of course in Chinese daycare. If you visit a Chinese kindergarten, you will typically find all the young kids sitting in the classroom from 8 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon. They learn English, Chinese poetry, painting, maths and music. They spend the whole day sitting in the classroom, and there is no play, explains Chinese pedagogy researcher, Dong Ruishang. It is Dong Fu, with a 2 million yuan $0.31 million support grant from the Chinese Lian Yu Foundation, initiated the program for Chinese kindergarten teachers. During the course, participants get an introduction to Danish culture, general education, preschool pedagogy and everyday life in the country's kindergartens, explains Mogens Godball, the principal at Nordfyns Folk High School. The Chinese participants also get to try their hand at jewelry production and felting in the school's creative workshops. Long academic lectures that even need to be translated to Chinese are a challenge, so instead we use methods with more body. Godball says. Play and play are given pride of place throughout the course, he stresses, and this is where the Danish poet Hans Christian Andersen enters the picture. His universe is about transformation, things are personified. Fairy tales are universal with simple descriptions of archetypes, free of the surroundings. It is something that everyone, across cultures, can identify with, believes the principal, who has been delighted by the positivity and curiosity shown by the Chinese pedagogues during the courses. Chinese course participants visit Danish kindergartens to see how the pedagogy works in practice. H.C. Andersen International Kindergarten College 1000 Andersen kindergartens in China. When Dong Ruishang first came to Denmark several years ago, he was surprised, overwhelmed and thrilled to see the freedom that children are given in kindergartens. Children play everywhere, inside, outside, all day long, and the kids are strong and healthy. You don't hear pedagogues say, "Don't do this, don't do that." Danish kids have the freedom to be kids, physically and mentally. Dong strongly wishes to give Chinese children the same opportunity to just be kids, and has a vision of opening 1,000 kindergartens in China based on the Danish pedagogy and view of childhood. The values of the fairy tales written by Hans Christian Andersen play a key role during the course. H.C. Andersen International Kindergarten College. He thought about naming the concept after the Danish queen or a town in Denmark. But, at the end of the day, there is one Dane in particular that all Chinese know, and that is Hans Christian Andersen. His fairy tales are part of the Chinese school curriculum, and the Danish author is cherished in China. I chose Andersen for commercial reasons, but also because we can learn many things from his fairy tales. He tells us how to be good human beings, how to behave well, how to treat other people, and how an ugly duckling becomes a swan, he elaborates. Dong has officially obtained the rights to use Hans Christian Andersen's name and logo for the ambitious project. I am sure that we will manage to build a chain of 1,000 kindergartens using the Andersen education idea. Now, I don't have much money, so I don't have a kindergarten of my own, but many existing kindergartens have contacted me to become part of this. I sent them to Denmark to learn about Danish ideas and educational thinkers and philosophers such as Grundtvig, Kierkegaard and Andersen, so they can use the Andersen name and become a part of the chain when they come back to China, he says. To make this possible, Dong and Nordfyns Folk High School plan to open an H.C. Andersen International Kindergarten College in Denmark. Between 5,000 and 10,000 Chinese pedagogues are to travel to Europe over the next 10 years to learn about the ideas behind the country's free preschool pedagogical practices and then spread them in China. The college is still at the drawing board phase, but Danish principal Mogens Godbold expects it to open its doors within the next year, either as part of his folk high school or as an independent institution. In Danish kindergartens, the joy of play is valued higher than academic skills. H.C. Andersen International Kindergarten College education could change Chinese society. Dong Ruixiang's ambitions reach much further than 10 years into the future. He is positive that Danish pedagogy can make Chinese society more harmonious and peaceful. If all kids would go to kindergartens like the Danish, Chinese society would change totally. Denmark is a peaceful and harmonious society, and Danes are generally polite, broad-minded and respectful of each other. Danish people should become teachers of the whole world, exclaims Dong, who, like the Chinese course participants, has been impressed by how casually and equally Danes from different walks of life treat each other. Though it does take time to convince Chinese daycare leaders and parents about the usefulness of free play and dirty trousers, most of them get it when Dong shares his experiences from Denmark with them, he explains. Many Chinese think that skills like English, Chinese and maths are the most important. But when I say to them that the most important is an open mind, they do understand. Surveys from China show that Chinese children have many skills, but their mindset has been closed, believes Dong. Chinese kindergarten teachers should not be afraid of dirty trousers, thinks Dong Ruixiang, who is the course's initiator. H.C. Andersen International Kindergarten College.